request, as we all know, the youth sitting in this august auditorium, we are really fascinated by your words, inner engineering. You are an architect of the inner engineering, and Ayurveda is a mind, body, soul, where it creates harmony with the Mana, Sattvam, Atma, Shariram, Trayametam, Tridandavat. So, how we can instill this value-based education and attitude of compassion in the Ayurveda fraternity and across the globe in the education system. I just repeat Sadhguruji, how we can instill value-based education and attitude of compassion into Ayurveda profession as a whole. Thank you. Namaskar.
Well, right now, what the world is suffering is, there is too much attention to all sorts of things, but there is not enough attention to life. When I say life, the very body that we carry and everything that we are today has come from within. Our body has been created from within. We might have provided material from outside, but it has been created from within. So there is an intelligence and a competence within this where it can turn a morsel of food into something as complex as human body. So I'm saying we are not paying enough attention in this whole body. An intelligence which can create this entire body, is it not capable of fixing it? Because we have lost touch with the manufacturer, now we go to the local tinker to fix it. If you keep in touch with the manufacturer, that which is the source of creation within us, keeping health, and health as a goal is not even an issue. See, 30% approximately let's say 30% of ailments that people suffer, especially at the time of pandemic, maybe we'll have to increase the percentage, but 30% of ailments may come to us from outside because of proximity of living with too many human beings and infectious diseases and communicable stuff. But over at least 70% or over 70% of the ailments are self-created. That means we manufacture the disease from within. Why would anybody manufacture disease? Of course, that's not their intent. But why would our body, which is essentially programmed for health, create a disease? Because we don't know how to sit properly. Right now, I think you're in Vigyan bhawan looking at the arrangement. So, everybody's sitting on the chair, because ever since the British came, we have been sitting on chairs only. Very few people can even cross their legs. How we sit, how we breathe, how we hold our spines, all these things will determine how sensitive we are to life. Sensitivity to life, not to lifestyle. Right now, people are dedicated to their lifestyle, not to their life. The moment you get dedicated to your lifestyle, you get enslaved to how much will you earn. This will be the whole thing. Right now, anywhere you go, any educational thing, people entering the college, somebody is becoming an engineer, somebody is becoming a doctor, somebody wants to become a business leader. When they enter, they are thinking, where will they get placed, how much money will they make? Why this has become so important is because you are dedicated to lifestyle. You are not dedicated to life that you are. So Ayurveda is a system of turning your dedication to life, not to lifestyle. But now lifestyle should become a conscious evolution as to what will support this life. So what we are calling as engineering is because the entire body has been engineered from within. You put a morsel of food, you eat a chapati, it becomes human body. This is not a simple thing, this is magic. This is more than magic, this is a miracle that every day you're performing. That if you eat a chapati, it becomes a human being, because the chapati doesn't look like you, smell like you, taste like you, but it becomes you because there is an intelligence and competence within. there is a source of creation within us which makes this happen. So inner engineering means that instead of thinking everything that you do has to come to you from outside, that is a knowledge-based life to a sensitivity of knowing life from within. If you know life from within, you know exactly what to do about this. You know what to eat today, what not to eat today, whether you should eat or not. You don't go by setting up rules and traditions. You live consciously. So for this to happen, certain dimension of awareness, certain dimension of understanding and certain processes to enliven the system within yourself is needed. That is what inner engineering is. I think that is most vital for those of you who want to dedicate or who have already dedicated your life to Ayurveda, because if you take something in your hand, you must be able to feel it. What does it do? Suppose this substance enters my body, how will it behave? This much knowing must be there. This cannot be taught by a book, this cannot be taught in a classroom. But if you do certain basic processes within you, that you will become sensitive to this. That if you take a leaf in your hand, if you take a morsel of food in your hand, or food appears in front of you, if you just touch it, you know how this will behave within you. Then you know what to eat, how much to eat on a given day. This is very important, both for eating and our own consumption, and to offer something to somebody else. So, in Ayurveda, it is deeply ingrained in the Ayurvedic sciences. The medicine is not only about what you give, about who gives it is equally important. Yogi, 350 or 360 years old, I do not know how old he was when I met him, about maybe 40 years ago. He looked extremely old, and his beard, I don't have one like that, his beard was, had to be rolled all over on the ground and kept some 12 feet long beard he had. He looked very old. I don't know, maybe he was 100, 120, 130, I don't know, but people believed he is over 360 years old because some 4 or 5 generations of people have seen him in the same village. So, at one time, when I saw him, he was very old, and a couple of years later he passed away. It seems there are many things he did if people came to him. There was a lamp burning next to him. He would take a drop of the oil in the lamp and give it to them. All kinds of miraculous things happened. So people wanted to know, many some Western researchers and others came, they want to know what is this special oil. Then we realized it's just lamp oil, okay, it is just simple gingerly oil. Then they asked, how does this happen? He said, it's not the oil. So in Ayurveda also, it's not always the medicine, it's the person who gives it. So working upon yourself, engineering yourself in such a way that your very presence is health, this needs to happen. I had a great privilege of volunteering with Malari Hari Swamiji, Rajendra Swami of Chitradurga, where he was considered as at least in the southern India, he was considered the greatest Ayurvedic Vaidya in this region. He was a Nadi Vaidya, and it was the same with him. It was his way of being which healed people. He gave some medicine. Medicine is important, but who gives it is very important. If what you are doing, if at any time in your life, if you feel what you are doing is important, the most important thing is you work upon yourself. That's what is in engineering.
Namaskaram. Please put your hands together. That's really the great message. Yes, it's a mindful eating, and Ayurveda same says that Aham Brahmasmi and Agni Hi Bhagwan. So it's like look within and concentrate to improve yourself. That's really great message, Sadhguruji. And last but not least, maybe really seek your blessings to say your comments on Ayurveda. What is your view about Ayurveda? Is India's gift to the entire humanity. Ayurveda, Ayusho Vedaha, is India's gift to the entire humanity. How can it be recognized globally? How can this gift to the humanity can be recognized globally? Sadhguruji. Your views, please.
Well, Ayurveda, one important thing is, I know we in reaction to the present healthcare systems, unfortunately, Ayurveda is taking a certain stance. But it's all right for immediate purposes if you take a stance, but it's important, those of you who are deeply involved in this, to bring this about. Ayurveda is not about a doctor-patient relationship. It is a culture that we have to create, that we value life in a certain way. When we say life, not just my life, because this life is not independent of every other life that's happening around us. What I exhale, the trees inhale. What the tree exhales, I inhale. When this is the case, how can I claim my life is independent of all life around me? So this involved with life. If we bring this about as a culture, I would say first, before talking about global impact, I think the most important thing is in India. In India, how many people are willing to go for Ayurveda? It's an extremely small number. People think it's too cumbersome, people think it is this, that, because they've gotten used to hot-shot, quick relief medicines, chemical medicines, and nobody is interested in long-term well-being of who they are. So we must transform this Ayurveda from being a healthcare system, because as relief, suppose you get a headache, to get relief, everybody will pop one analgesic and be done with it. Nobody is going to go through Ayurvedic treatment. So we must change Ayurveda as the science of life, which is what it is. If we bring Ayurveda into our culture as a living force, we will live like gods. Yes, that's what it means, that you will live not as a lowly human being, but you will live like gods, raised above life, being a master of this life. This is possible. If this has to happen, even if it has to reflect globally, the first and foremost thing is, please at least produce a simple textbook so that every school-going child must read. Please do this before the next academic year. A simple textbook as to what is Ayurveda and what it can offer and how you can pursue this. Even right now, if the entire Indian population leans towards Ayurveda, we don't have enough facility, we don't have enough people, or we don't have enough offerings. So right now, we did this in Tamil Nadu, that we created herbal gardens in villages on donated land. And we taught people how to use these herbs all by themselves. This took about 3 to 4 months of education, and a whole lot of villagers, for small things, they got a stomach ache, they got a headache, they got something else. For these things, they're just going to the garden, plucking the leaves, they know which leaf to pluck, what to do, and how to eat it, and how to make something out of it, a decoction out of it, and drink it. This needs to happen. Village to village, we need to have herbal gardens. First of all, bring it into the schools, because our generation, all of us, most of us who are beyond 50, 60 years of age, our generation grew up being allergic to anything that is India-born. Because we were told in our education systems that if anything has to work, it has to come from the West, because education systems were crafted like that. So this is the time, if you want Ayurveda to grow global, many people who come to yoga center here from outside countries, they're surprised that nobody uses Ayurveda in India. They are all coming from European and American nations to come here to thinking that India is full of Ayurveda. There is no Ayurveda in India, just a small percentage of people hanging on to it. First make it in India, it must live, not just preserved in a book, not preserved in an institution. It must live, it must become a living science in India. After that, you don't have to do anything global. If it produces results, the world will come to you.
Namaskar. That's the great message. I think this is the beginning and we'll carry it forward. Already in history of Ayush, NLP been doing, and that is the Gurukul model which we have created. The Isha Foundation has created in Coimbatore, a success story, and that's the model we'll take it forward to every nook and corner of India. And all youngsters sitting in this August auditorium and the youngsters watching across the nation, maybe have your last message to our youngsters, the new entrants and the the outgoing batches where we are celebrating their convocation and the induction of our post-doctoral program and MD program. Your message in front of our minister and secretary, please.
My namaskarams to our Honorable Sripadji. Thank you for leading this whole movement in the country. And for all the young people there, just stay young, that's all. This is what Ayurveda means, just stay young. What does staying young mean? Staying young doesn't mean just your muscular structure or something else. Staying young means you are never a closed life. You are an open-ended life, always. You are willing to evolve, you are willing to learn, you are willing to be open to life all the time. This is Ayurveda. You're open to life does not mean open to various situations of your life. You're just open to life, whether it's a plant, animal, insect, whatever, you're open to life. This is staying young. Becoming old just means you're closed. Staying young means you're open. You just stay open, because being open is a natural learning process. You don't have to necessarily read a book. If you remain absolutely open to everything, every moment is a moment of knowing. In this knowing, whatever you wish to achieve through these Ayurvedic sciences will definitely find better expression. So my only advice is just stay young, don't become a closed life. Start to all of you. Thank you.